Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture video on computer-aided engineering graphics. This is Grynal D'Mello, Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and I will be demonstrating isometric projections in computers through solid edge software. The theoretical part of isometric projections is already demonstrated by Dr. Ravindra and the link is provided below. Isometric projections in computers is split into two parts. This video will explain all the single block objects like circle, cylinder, triangle, pentagon, hexagon, its prisms and pyramids. The next video will demonstrate the combination of these solids. So let's start by converting the actual scale into isometry. But since we are solving it in computers, we have certain shortcuts to follow. We need not draw the isometric scale in computer. Instead, we will be multiplying by a number to actual dimension in order to get isometric dimension. So before starting off with that, let's start off with the sheet setup. Go to File, click on Sheet Setup. Here we are going to select it as A4 wide. Then change the background to A4 sheet, show the background, save default and click OK. Now automatically it has been converted into an A4 size sheet. So go to Fit to Screen. Now we need only the page borders and not the extra writing material or the extra written material over here. So go to View, click on Background Sheet. Now initially you can see there was only one sheet that was displayed, but now there are multiple sheets that have been displayed. And we are going to select A4 sheet, which is required for us, fit it to the screen. Now this is the background sheet where I can edit all the options. I'll delete all this. And if required, as in your case, you are supposed to write your roll number, name and section at the right bottom corner. Okay, so now once the sheet setup is complete, it is ready for working. Do remember, do not draw anything on the background sheet, because whatever you write it on the background sheet, that will be displayed on each and every sheet. So please be careful while drawing it. So our working sheet is sheet 1 and rest all the sheets are displayed. So what I'll do is I'll go to View and I will disable the background sheet. So now you can see this is the working sheet where I'm going to work on, and whatever you had drawn on the background sheet, that has been displayed over here. Now this is the isometric scale which we usually draw it on the grid sheet. Now if at all I want to convert 50 millimeters into isometric, so let me draw an arc first, arc by center point, and the radius I'll keep it as 50, and I will draw an arc on the actual scale. Now I need to draw the straight vertical line downwards, so C for the intersection mark and draw a straight line vertically down. Okay, now measure this distance. So let me go to distance between this point and this point. So the distance, what you find it, is 40.82. So if I just calculate 40.82 divided by 50, I'll get a value of 0.816. That means for an actual value of 50, if I multiply it by 0.816, I will get the isometric value of 40.82. That's the procedure which we are supposed to use it in computer evaluations. So we need not draw the isometric scale once again. This is the value where you are supposed to multiply the actual number with 0.816. Now let's look into how to draw an isometric circle. Let us take the diameter of the circle as 50 millimeters. So let me draw an actual circle of 50 millimeter first, just for your reference. It is not required, but as we know in isometric, for every object that we draw, we require an outline. Now for a circle, we can draw a square. So now let me draw the outline first. Okay. Now the outline for a circle is ready. Let's start drawing the isometric view. So let me draw the horizontal line first. Two lines 30° apart. Give the angle between for each. It should be 30. And on the other side, it is again 30 millimeters. Now, if at all I measure this side, you can see that the length of the side is 50 millimeters. So in that case, from here to here, I'm going to convert it from actual to isometric. So click on this line. In place of the length, the actual dimension is 50 into, that is star 0.816 will convert the actual dimension into isometric. Okay, here also the same case, 50 into 0.816. okay, now these two lines are of equal length. In order to complete the square, there are two ways. One, you can simply copy this line by using the move command, then place it over here, and this line alternatively over here. If not, I have an option called as mirror. So what I will do is I'll select these two lines, click on the option mirror. Okay, retain the copy over here. This base copy is required. Click on this endpoint and you can see the mirror is floating here, and I'm going to join it over here. Now this completes the isometric square for this circle. Okay, that is the base requirement. Next, we are supposed to draw some construction lines in order to draw the isometric circle. And now this isometric circle is the horizontal circle what we are drawing. So let's go to line, use the construction lines. Let me draw the diagonal first. Okay. After the diagonal, from this edge, by using the center or the midpoint of this, I'm going to draw a construction line joining the opposite corner. Here also the same case, from this point I'm going to join line to the opposite corner. Similarly on the other side, draw it, join it onto this, and from here join it onto this. Now in order to identify whether the isometric square you have drawn is right or wrong, you should see two intersection points over here. If these 3 to 4 lines are meeting at one single point, that means the isometric square what you have drawn is correct. And if at all you find any gap over here, that means the isometric square what you have drawn is wrong. Okay, now let's move on and start drawing the arcs. So let us use arc by center point. The first thing, by taking this point as the center and this as the radius, let me draw the first arc. Okay, so now this point as the center, this as the radius, let me draw one more arc. So two side arcs are complete. Now see for the intersection mark over here, this as the radius, cut an arc. Now sometimes what happens is you cannot go it in the anti-clockwise direction, so you can try it out in the clockwise direction also. So from here complete the arc, and by taking this as the intersection mark, complete the arc. Now we are in need of only this inside circle, so select this line and make it onto a view line. So now the isometric circle in the horizontal position, which we usually call it as horizontal circle, that's what is there in the question bank, is ready. So let me keep this aside. Now, in order to draw the vertical circle, vertical in the sense you can see this is positioned horizontally, vertical in the sense the circle will almost come vertical. Now how am I supposed to do that? So let me draw the horizontal construction line. Now since we talk about the vertical circle, one line should be completely vertical. So this line will be exactly equal to 90 degree and the other line will be inclined at an angle of 30 degree. So let's measure the angle for this, that is 30. Okay, now the dimension of the lines remains the same, that is 50 into 0.816. Here also it is 50 into 0.816. Now in this case also these two lines are equal, so I can go with the mirror option. So I'll select these two lines by pressing hold of Control key, go to the option mirror, retain the copy, select this endpoint first. You can see a floating line, join it together. Now the vertical reference square for a vertical circle is ready. Construction line drawing procedure remains the same, so there is no change in that. So let me draw the construction line from this endpoint, midpoint, to this corner, from this midpoint to this corner, from this midpoint to this corner, and from this midpoint to this corner. In order to check whether the square is right or wrong, draw a diagonal. You can see all are meeting at one single point. Now it is correct. So let's go with the arc by center point and start drawing the construction arcs. So from here one line, from here one more arc, from this point one more arc, and from this point one more arc. So this completes the vertical circle. I'll change the line thickness to 0.4. Okay, so now you can see the difference between a horizontal circle and a vertical circle. Next we'll see how to draw the isometric triangle. So let me draw an isometric triangle of side, say 30 millimeters. Let me draw an equilateral triangle first. Let's draw the rough triangle. Give the dimension on any one side. So I said it is 30 millimeters, so let me give it as 30. Then use the equal symbol over here in order to equalize other two sides. So click on equal, click on the reference line, then the equal symbol, click on the reference line, then the line which needs to be equalized. So now if you see or measure, we can see that all the sides should be equal to 30 millimeters. So here all three sides are equal to 30. Let me delete this, which is not required. Now the triangle is ready. We need to draw an outline for a triangle. So let me zoom this area and draw the outline. Okay, now the outline is complete. Next step, drawing the isometric view. So let me draw the horizontal line, two 30-degree lines apart. So give the angle between as 30. Okay, now I'm planning to place this point over here. So let me measure this side. So it is 25.98. So it is 25.98 into 0.816, and the longer side is however 30, so it will be 30 into 0.816. Okay, now the two sides are already drawn with the required dimension. Earlier, in case of a circle, both the sides were equal, but here both the sides are not equal, hence we cannot use the mirror option. So let us go with the traditional move option. Retain the copy, select this endpoint and place the line over here. Similarly, select this line, go to the option move, retain the copy and place it on this endpoint. So now the isometric rectangle for this triangle is ready. Now we are supposed to mark this point. Now this is almost at the center, so what I'll do is I'll just measure what exactly is the distance between this point and this point. Now here it is 2, so I'll make it horizontal. Now it is exactly 15. That means from this end I need to cut an arc at isometric 15. So I'll type 15 into 0.816. So that will be the center point of this triangle. So now what I'll do is I'll go with the view line, that is 0.4. This will be one endpoint, this will be the other one, and here this will be one more. Now this is how we can draw the isometric triangle. Now let's see how to draw the isometric pentagon. So let me draw an actual pentagon of sides 30 millimeters. Now you all know the conventional or the traditional way of drawing a pentagon, but since we are using the computers, there are some easier methods to draw the pentagon. Let me show you that. In isometric, you need not worry about whether it is a corner condition or an edge condition. Any condition you can keep it. So let me draw a simple pentagon first. First of all, draw a rough pentagon. See to it that the angle between the sides are more than 90 degree and not less, or equal to. You should always keep it more than 90 whenever it is a pentagon. Don't keep it perpendicular. Okay, now here is the rough pentagon. First I'll give the dimension on any one side, 30 millimeters, and angle between on any two corners. So the angle, we know it as 108 degree, and on the other side it is 108 degree. Next step, use the equal symbol. By taking this line as the reference, equalize all the sides. So reference line, the line to be equaled, reference line, the line to be equaled, reference line, the line to be equaled, reference line, the line to be equaled. Now if you check, all the sides should be equal to 30. Okay, so now that means the regular pentagon is been drawn and ready. Okay, the next step, you are supposed to draw the outline for this pentagon. Let me zoom the area. So from here extend some lines, from here extend the line. By taking this, use the alignment indicator only then you will get these dotted lines. Okay, so now from here, this one. So the outline for a pentagon is ready now. Okay. The important thing when you're doing it or drawing it in a pentagon, you require the dimensions of all the points from one reference point. So that is why let's mark the dimensions first. This. Then let's start out with the distance between from this point to this end point is one distance, and from this end point to this point, that will be one more. You need to mark the center point also here, so that is why from this end point to this end point there will be one more, that is 24.27. And in order to check whether it is right or wrong, you see both the lines are equal to 24.27. okay, then you require two full lengths, 46.17 on one side and probably 48.54 on the other side. Now these are the basic dimensions required in order to draw the isometric pentagon. Let me drag it slightly inside the margin. Okay, fine. Now first thing, go to the projection line, draw the horizontal line first and two 30-degree lines apart, then angle between on each side, mark it as 30. Here also the angle between, yes, 30. Okay, now since I'm going to keep this point over here, this will be the shorter side and this will be the longer side, so I'll click on this and I'll mark it as 46.17 into 0.816, and the other one, that will be 48.54 into 0.816. okay, now here also these two lines are not equal, so you are supposed to use the move command and not the mirror one. So select this line, go to the move, retain the copy, select this end point and place the line onto this one. Next, select this line, go to the option move, retain the copy, select this end point and place it over here. Okay, so now the isometric rectangle for the pentagon construction is ready. The remaining part is only the marking of these points. So let us begin. So in order to make it easier, I'll drag it over here and I will zoom the area. Okay, now this is 28.53, so all these markings are done through the arcs. So select this point. Now the length here is 28.53, so directly type 28.53 into 0.816. So cut an arc over here. Similarly on the other side also the length remains the same, so that is 28.53 into 0.816. so cut an arc over here. Two arcs are ready. Now next arc is from here, that is for this one 24.27, So radius is 24.27 into 0.816. So mark the center. Now remaining is 9.27 on either side. So let me start off with here. So radius is 9.27 into 0.816. So one arc on this side, one more arc, 9.27 into 0.816. Okay, fine. Now in order to draw the pentagon, all the markings are done. In order to easily identify these points, what I will do is I'll use the trim option and trim all the lines that have come inside, such that whenever I start selecting the line, I will get an endpoint. Okay, so I'll change the line thickness to 0.4. Let me start off from here. See for the endpoint. Here also see for the endpoint. One more endpoint. One more end. One more endpoint. And that's it. Now here the isometric pentagon is ready. Similarly, by using these procedures, you can draw even the isometric hexagon. So I'm not going to draw the isometric hexagon here, but the procedure remains the same as you have used it for the drawing of the pentagon. We have already drawn the isometric circles in the horizontal position. Now, in this case, I'll tell you how exactly to draw the hemisphere. For example, this diameter is 50 millimeters and this is an isometric 50 circle. So now, whenever we go with the hemisphere, as told in the theory by Dr. Ravindra, there is no change in the diameter of the sphere. So that means I'm supposed to draw an arc of actual 50 from the midpoint. Okay, so let us go with the radius 25 and let me draw the actual circle with actual dimension. Now in this case, if you see, while drawing the actual circle with actual radius, there are some gaps that are left out. Okay, so that needs to be filled out with either the freehand sketches, which you draw it on the grid sheet. If not, here we are supposed to use arc by 3 points in order to manually connect this one. So what I'll do is I'll go with arc by 3 points. This is the first point, this is the second point, and third point is the point of contact. So you can just zoom the area in order to join it correctly. Similarly on the other side, also go with arc by 3 points. This is the first one, the second one, and the third one is the point of contact. But now if you see, there are multiple lines over here. You cannot delete this inside line because that is an actual isometric circle. So what you can do is select these two and change it to a projection line, that is 0.05. This is how you can draw a hemisphere. Now in order to draw a cylinder of let us say height 50, what I can do is, from this end point I will draw a vertical line measuring isometric 50, that is 50 into 0.816. Okay, so now this is the isometric height of the cylinder. I'll change the line thickness to the projection line. Okay, fine. The next step, this full structure should be drawn here. If at all it is a grid sheet, you are supposed to draw this full structure there, but since it is computer, you can directly copy and paste it. So use the option move. Do not copy this horizontal line and the angle. Go for the option move, retain the copy. Always select one reference line as an endpoint. So select this endpoint and don't select it somewhere in between, because it is very difficult for you to coincide it and meet it here. So that is why select this endpoint and place it over here. Okay, so now the part remaining is just joining these two lines. So let me join it tangentially. Here also let me join it tangentially. So now the cylinder is complete, but there are some hidden edges or hidden corners or hidden curves which are not visible from the front side. So that is why all those needs to be made as projection lines. Now here it is an arc, so I need to split it. In order to get the split command, click on the drop down near trim and go to split. So select the line first and select the split point. Here also the same case, select the line and select the split point. After this, select these two lines, change the line thickness to the projection line. Now that completes how to draw a cylinder and how to draw the hemisphere. Now, in order to draw the triangular prism of, let us say, height isometric 50, so what I can do, select one corner, draw a straight vertical line of isometric 50 into 0.816. okay, this should be a projection line, that is 0.05. okay, next step, I have already copied one triangle over here, so I don't need this horizontal line. I'll delete it. I'll just copy this, click on move. Do not retain the copy because I don't want the copy over here. Select this corner and place it over here. Okay, then you are supposed to join all the corners with the view line. So I can zoom this, select this, select this and select this. Now in this case, if you see, this edge is not visible, so I can make it as a projection line. Okay, so this is how you can draw the triangular prism. Now if at all I want to draw the pyramid, let me zoom this again further. Okay, now whenever we draw the pyramid, that means from all these corners there will be one center point at the center. So before that you need to mark the center of the triangle. So do that first. Let us mark the center of the triangle as a centroid. So here there will be one midpoint. From the other corner there will be one more midpoint over here. Okay, and from here directly onto the other corner. So this is the midpoint. Now from here, see, for the intersection, draw one line, let us say 30 isometric as a height. I'm just showing it to you as a reference, 0.816. okay, this is the center, and join all the corners with the view line. So from here join it, from here join it, and from here join it. And the type of the line here at the center is the axis line, so change the line type to the axis line. Now in order to look this drawing neat, you can delete all the construction lines also. It is left to your individual staff supervisor how does he teach it. So there are chances that you can completely delete all the lines and only the final object needs to be seen. So here this view is not seen, so let me make it 0.05. So this is how a triangular pyramid is drawn. Here you can delete all the construction lines in order to draw the centroid that you had drawn it. So this is the final product. So this completes the first part of the video, wherein we have come across how to draw the isometric circle in the horizontal and vertical position, how to draw the isometric triangle, and how to draw the isometric pentagon. So in the second video, we are going to discuss about the combination of solids. So that's it from this video. Thanks for watching.